Hello and welcome to the 190th installment of the Synapse Misfire Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, joined by other host, Jordan.
That's me, baby.
That's him.
That's me.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yeah.
Jordan.
Yes.
Remind the people.
All right. So, as always, here we go. As always, you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Podcast, and the RSS Feed, all linked below. YouTube and Spotify have a video platform. You can also reach out to us via Instagram, TikTok, all linked below. And Synapse Misfire at pm.me. Send your comments, questions, concerns, death threats, and most importantly, little kitty bit city stuff. And if you have any Christian game reviews you want to send to us, you can send them there. We went down a rabbit hole before this show started.
Did you know, Jordan, there are approximately 9,000 taste buds on your tongue?
Shit, only gonna be 8,999 when I'm done with you.
I don't know what that means. I'm kind of concerned.
I'm taking one.
I'm stealing one of them.
I'm taking it. I'm stealing it.
Yeah, we fell down a small rabbit hole before we started recording of I was talking about this new game that Roger Clark is going to be in, who he's just playing Arthur Morgan again, which is kind of frustrating. Yeah. He's getting pigeonholed in the same way like Giancarlo Esposito is, where he's Gus Fring and fucking everything now.
Yeah.
But the reason we fell down this rabbit hole is because when I looked up this game, the first website that came up was a game called ChristianGameReviews.com or ChristianGamer.com or something like that.
Yeah.
And there's like a YouTube channel of like the woman who runs the website, and it's all about loving God and loving video games.
Yeah.
And it was just so fascinating because seeing the variety of video games that will be reviewed on this website and by the owner of the website is crazy.
It's really interesting because there's a game score, like is this game good and fun to play? And then there's a morality score.
There's a morality score. And a lot of the games that we looked at got really low morality scores.
Yeah, if I gave you 3 games, Doom, Red Dead 2, and Baldur's Gate, which one would you think got the lowest morality score? Take 5. It was Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3.
They did not appreciate the same sets.
They took one look at Astarion and was like, "Kill that twink immediately."
Yeah, they did not appreciate the homosexuality depictions. So interesting,
but
no mention of much heterosexuality, I must say.
Which there's a lot of that in the game.
They really honed in on like 3 different adjectives.
They really honed in on like very specific aspects of the game. I'm just saying, not very Christ-like. Love thy neighbor and all that.
I think, what was the game? It was Baldur's Gate 3 that they have a section that says strengths, weaknesses, and morality considerations. And under Baldur's Gate 3, there was no strength.
There was no strengths.
There was none.
Which is crazy because I'm 60 hours into my Baldur's Gate 3 save at the moment. 60 hours. It's like, I can confidently say one of the most detailed and well thought out video games I've ever played.
Yeah.
And, and it's a 0 for strengths.
What shook me the most was we were talking about this. We kind of had like a little discussion about it. And Baldur's Gate 3, highly choice driven. You can basically make your own destiny, right? And something like GTA 5, for example, is not. Like, you always have to shoot civilians. You always have to be a hitman. Like, everything is forced to you. It's a story-driven game with one story and only one decision at the end of the game. And that had a higher morality score because the violence apparently is somehow better when it's forced upon you as opposed to when you choose to do it.
Isn't there a whole scene in GTA 5 where Trevor, like, fucking attaches a car battery to a guy's nutsack or something?
His nipples, and they smash his nuts with a hammer.
He tortures the guy.
Yeah.
And everyone was like, that was like the big controversial scene when
every
the game came out.
GTA needs one. That was the one.
It was like, there's a torture scene in this game. And I was 12. I was playing this. I was like, this shit is awesome.
Yeah. Smash his nuts again.
Smash his nuts with a hammer. Waterboard him.
Oh, yeah, I think he gas boards him. I don't think he even uses water.
Oh, yeah, he has a gas
He uses a jerry can, dude.
Waterboard him with gasoline. Yeah.
And then you drop his ass off at the airport.
Yeah, you just, all right, see ya. Got what we needed.
Yeah, but yeah.
I'm a bad guy. I'm not a monster.
I drove him to the airport. I still got him there, safe and sound.
More or less. He's fine. He'll buy some new clothes at the duty free. He'll be all right.
But that's, that was, I think, a 15. I think GTA got
Damn.
a 15 on the morality score. So, and Baldur's Gate was, I think, a 9 or an 11.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're the owner of that website, reach out to us. We'd love to write some reviews for you.
Yeah. No. Honestly, though, like, unironically, like, I don't know. It's cool that a site like that exists for people who care.
Yeah.
If you're in that community,
it's a hole in the market, and also the woman who runs it doesn't seem like she's that bad. She just seems like she's like a fun-loving, like a fun, sort of quirky middle-aged woman who just likes video games and
yeah, she seems
loves
to
her
like
dogs and whatnot.
She seems to like video games. She tries numerous genres, various different games. Even she played fucking Hatred, that game that was like a fucking mass shooting sort of.
Yeah, the game that is
simulator.
The game that the whole objective of the game is commit a mass shooting.
Yeah,
she's like, I gotta review this one. And that review is so fucking funny because the first like 30 seconds she's talking about how like, yep, this one's really violent and you basically have to kill as many people as possible. And she's like walking through like a pretty idle area of the game, live recording gameplay, not like pre-recorded. She's like walking through like a pretty dead area of the game, finds someone
who's like sleeping in the
who's
sewer.
like sleeping or like is injured or whatever, and the like press Q to execute thing pops up, and she like stops talking, she goes, oh, and hits the button and shoots the guy in the head
with a shotgun. And then goes, see?
that got a real fucking laugh out of us.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're unholy, but yeah, hit us up. We'd love to hey, you should be a guest on the show.
Oh my god.
We will only blaspheme a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of, what was it, Doom that had blaspheming?
A lot of blasphemy.
That's what it said.
Game, which I would argue that game, you can't get more Christian than that game. You go to hell to kill demons.
Yeah. You try to piss off the devil every way you can.
I'm just saying, but I think circling back to the Baldur's Gate thing, I think probably what really did it for the morality thing, other than the fact that you can be gay, is there's multiple points at which you can make deals with various devils.
True.
And that's a real big no-no.
Yeah.
In the Christian community, believe it or not.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That's why the devil went down to Georgia, apparently. Real hated by the religious community, despite the fact it is a song about a guy who is so good at playing the fiddle, he beats the devil at it. But because at the beginning of the song, he takes a deal with the devil, which is like, again, huge no-no.
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
Yeah.
Which I'm no scholar. I'm not religious. I don't know, but I disagree.
Yeah.
Taking a deal with the devil, blasphemy, sure, but forgivable if you beat the devil at his own game.
Yeah.
Just saying.
That's kind of like that's like some Sigma energy right there, dude.
Like, that's crazy. It's not about, hey, don't take a deal with the devil. It's just, I am him. I am that fucking good at playing the fiddle that I beat the devil at playing the fiddle.
Beat Satan's ass, bro. Yeah. Also, I gotta say one thing I disagreed with. Hard disagreed. I'm not the best moral compass to be reviewing Christian game reviews, but to say that they really gave GTA 5 a better gameplay score than Red Dead 2 kind of just rubs me the wrong way.
Yeah.
I feel like just objectively that's false, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think overall pretty interesting though.
Yeah, it's a neat site. It's kind of like an old school blog.
Like old school like forum blog type thing. Very interesting, very like Web 1.0 style.
Yeah, a lot of forums where people were like asking like, can you turn off the gore in the newest Call of Duty when I was looking for Call of Duty reviews? And people were like, I tried it. It was too violent.
Can you turn off the swearing? You actually used to be able to turn off the gore in Call of Duty.
That's what they were talking about, Black Ops 2.
Black Ops 2, yeah, you could turn it off and it was butterflies.
Yeah, and that's what someone had said in the comments. Interesting. See, they're a supportive community, though. It's cool. Someone got their answer.
Sometimes, they got you sometimes.
So
I think, maybe they should, that's a new market. They should start making mods. Christian mods for games.
Dude, Christian gamer mods, yeah.
Yeah, so like do like a Fallout mod where like it removes the gore, so like when you dismember someone, it's like a
Lego.
Yeah, it's like they have a little Lego piece sticking out of their arm, and instead of shooting blood, they just are like, ouchie.
Yeah. Then the Baldur's Gate one just removes all homosexuality because that seems to be the biggest pain point.
Deletes Astarion from the game.
Dude, he's gone.
He's like
he's just a floating text box.
You go to the area where he's supposed to be, and he's not there. They're like, isn't there like a whole point of the story? Isn't there like a whole story beat that's supposed to play out with this character? What character?
There never was a character. It's like the Mandela effect.
There never was a vampire in this game.
I didn't say it was a vampire. Shut the fuck up, Tim. Shut your goddamn mouth.
Shut the fuck up!
Yeah, so that would be kind of neat, though. I mean, there's already like censorship mods out there. Oh my god, I didn't even think, Chris. Do you think they reviewed Manhunt?
Oh man, I
gotta find out. I gotta find out because they did review a bunch of old games. I gotta know.
I hope so. Manhunt would be a crazy one. I wonder what the morality score on that is. If it's higher than the Baldur's Gate one, that's crazy.
They did. Oh no, this is an old school site. This is like so old they didn't do the scores.
No.
Hang on.
Fuck, dude.
Yeah, they don't do scores here. Oh, no, they do. They just did it differently. It's tiny at the bottom. So they gave graphics a B-, audio an A+, gameplay and controls a B, and offensive content got an F.
Fair.
It's been a year since Manhunt's release date, so I'm sure you have heard about this game's content. Yes, it is really gory and messy, but the violence isn't what I found most offensive. I found the comments by the director to be the most offensive. After killing someone in a graphic manner, the director sings praise and even talks about how he is sexually aroused by the slayings. There also is a great... That's the wrong use of there. Wrong type of there.
Great. Great.
Also is a great deal of language in the game, most of it the F-bomb, but there is a fair share of other words and racial comments. That is very true. Manhunt, the original one anyway, is very homophobic for the time. I was shook when some of the things they said were said.
Homophobic for 2024 or homophobic for 2002?
For 2024, I mean, when I played it.
I was going to say, like, because that's just kind of how they talked in the early 2000s.
Yeah. The first time I heard an F slur come out, I was like...
Because you don't hear that anymore.
I was like, what did he just say? What did he just call me? Because the enemies call you that when you run away and you hide. They call you that.
That's crazy.
And I was like, bro.
I was like, come on. Was that really necessary?
Yeah. I'm like, dude, come on.
Yeah, I find that maybe now I'm starting to show my age now because I'm getting old. But like that's just how shit media was in like up until
2002.
Up until like probably 2012. That's how media was.
Yeah.
It was like that was just a word that people said. And you don't hear it anymore, so it's like fucking out of the blue for me now.
Yeah.
I was when I was doing my intro to film class, I was watching this movie. I had to watch this movie that was from the early 90s, and they introduce a gay character into the movie, and he uses that word within 30 seconds of appearing on the screen, and I had to I paused the movie. I was like, "Yo, whoa! Where did this come from?"
Yeah, so when I played through the Warriors PS2 game, I then went to watch the original Warriors movie because I had never seen it. They just be dropping that all the time. Someone's like, dude, I'm scared. And he's like, hey, you. Like, instantly. What are you, like, what are you saying, bro?
Yeah.
Like, oh, my God.
Oh, man.
It's funny. It's crazy. Like,
yeah, and you don't hear that anymore. Unless you're still tapped into... I am still a huge fan of all the Tourette's guys' videos. And those videos look and sound like they're from 2004, regardless of when they were filmed. That word is in ones that they've recorded like last year.
That's crazy.
I was like, it's so crazy to me that these videos are allowed to be on the platform now.
Yeah. I'm surprised, honestly.
But all in good fun.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, Christian game reviews are pretty cool.
All in good fun. Not the homophobia thing, the Christian game reviews.
Yeah. No, like, I mean, again, if you're in that, demographic that cares about that stuff, it's good for you to have a resource. That's all I can say.
Okay. Jordan.
What's up?
Did you buy anything for Black Friday?
I did. So, we needed chairs desperately, dude. I should have taken a video of my chair before I tossed it. That thing you would grab the sides and do this, and it would just go. Like literally, I could turn it like 45
That's why
degrees.
I had to replace my chair because like the thing where the arms they screw into the seat and the back, and this arm was like I would push down on it, and the screws that were into the seat had sheared off, so it would just go.
That's funny. Yeah, mine was rough. It was the whole post that you sit on, the actual piston. The whole thing was just loose. I was like, wee, going side to side. So I ended up getting a new chair for me and for Letsy because hers was like shedding. It was pleather and it was just shedding. I don't know.
It was shedding.
It was fucking annoying. It was making a mess everywhere. And now that she's in school again, she has to sit for like 8 hours a day. So I got her a better chair. We each got chairs. So that was the main thing I purchased. Then I went to a retro game store. I picked up 6 retro games, buy 2 get 1 free. So I ended up paying $60 and got 6 games. So
Which games did you get?
So let's see, I think got 3 or 4 of them. I got a Spider-Man DS game, which I had always heard about. It's actually pretty fun. But it's Spider-Man Battle for New York. It's where you get to play as the Green Goblin, like on roids, and Spider-Man. And like you'll go into a mission as Goblin, and you'll start like killing people and fucking shit up. And then you swing in as Spider-Man on the next mission, and he's like, oh no, I gotta stop him. So pretty fun DS game. I got Army of Two the 40th day because I only had the first one so far for PS3. And then I got one other thing that I honestly can't really remember. What the hell was it? I don't know. I got one other game that wasn't too crazy. I think it was more of one just to collect to have than to play because I've been emulating a lot of my games. So I've been trying to like only emulate games I actually own, the legal way. So I think that's what I had done. I bought it and then I was emulating it or whatever. But I don't remember what the fuck it was for some reason. And then she bought like some DS baloney.
Some stupid bullshit.
She got this Need for Speed game for the Switch. I was like, oh. Not Need for Speed, sorry. Fast and Furious game for the Switch. And I was like, okay, it's probably going to be shit.
It's like a 40-hour long game of Vin Diesel going, the family! Family! And then he goes to space for some reason.
Yeah, so she started playing it. I was like, I expected the game to be shit. And then I watched her play. I was like, oh, it looks cool. And then I was like, all right, let's play it split screen. And like when you play with people, it's not a great game at all. Like it's probably like a solid 4 out of 10. But the worst part is you'll turn on AI and there's no AI difficulty settings. And they genuinely seem like they're playing Project Zomboid with the Sunday Driver perk. These motherfuckers don't know where the gas is. They're just like,
It's the pedal on the right.
Like you can't
it's
lose.
It's the pedal on the right.
You really can't lose. So
plant the right foot down.
Yeah, so it does make it like a little boring, but yeah, it's not a great game.
No, it's actually you actually the AI runs the same is under the same contract as all the actual actors in the movie, where Vin Diesel and The Rock can't get hurt or lose.
All right, so crazy thing on that quick.
So that's the thing. So you get to be The Rock. You can't get hurt or lose.
So here's the craziest thing though. We've been binging not binging, but every week we've been watching one Fast and Furious movie. We just watched Fast 5. Dude, that movie actually The Rock gets his ass kicked by Vin Diesel. There's a really good fight between them, and he actually loses.
That must have been pre-contract.
That was probably what led to the contract.
Well, I think that was before, like, when was Fast 5?
It was 2012, I believe.
2012? Yeah, that's like, I feel like that was before The Rock was, like, a get.
Yeah.
You know?
That's
like,
true.
I feel like The Rock
2011.
now... The Rock now is, like, he's in every fucking movie, and he makes a shitload of money. He's a get. Like, you can get him. Like, he's like, oh, shit, we got The Rock for this. Before it was like, I don't know, fucking put The Rock in it. I don't care.
He was like a placeholder. Now he's
like,
a staple.
he was like a Kevin James equivalent. Where there's like, I don't know, fucking put Kevin James in here. I don't care.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Have Kevin James do this one. Have The Rock do this one. Who cares?
Yeah, now he is like a household name sort of thing.
Well, he was before, but like I think more so now because he's in every movie.
Yeah. He's the budget of every movie, too.
That's so crazy that he was in that fucking Christmas movie and that you got paid $200 million.
Of the what? $600 million budget?
Of the like $300 million.
$300 million? Jesus Christ, I didn't know it was that low.
Which is like fucking insanity to me. Insanity.
And the movie was literally no better off for him being there.
Like, yeah, you could have just hired some other asshole.
Yeah. Like any other asshole.
Yeah.
Point. But, yeah, I was surprised when I saw him lose. They didn't let him die. They let him almost die, but it was like a redeeming moment for Vin Diesel.
I think that has to be I think that has to be where they logically go next, right? Like, they kill one of the characters, and it's like a get out of hell situation, where they have to go to hell
And fight the devil.
They drive a bunch of cars into hell, and they beat. Vin Diesel beats the brakes off the devil and drags the Rock out of hell.
Yeah, and then they fucking return, and Vin Diesel is the devil now. They're just having dinner with the devil.
And then, but the thing is, though, I think in fucking The Rock's contract, you'd be like, well, I wouldn't go to hell, obviously.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not a bad person.
So
I would
they're
go to
gonna fight
heaven.
God.
And they beat the shit out of God. They come up and they piece this man up.
It's like mopping the floor.
He looks God himself. He looks like a pretzel. It's over.
Have you seen the new Thor movie?
No.
So there's a part in that movie. I wish we had someone to pull clips for us.
Jamie, pull that up.
There's a part in that movie where Thor is just chained up naked and Zeus is insulting him, and Zeus is just this fat, laborsome piece of shit, and Thor is just like, okay. So Zeus throws a lightning bolt at him. Thor catches it and then kills him with it instantly without even making like a sound. And everyone's like, he just killed Zeus. How the fuck did he do that? And Thor's like, oh, no big deal. That's going to be what it's like. Vin Diesel goes there, God's like monologuing, and he just punches him right in the balls.
He punches him in the chest, breaks all of his ribs, and they pick him up like Uncle Phil kicking Jazz out of the house, and they throw him off a cloud. The body of God falls down. The dead body of God falls down in the middle of Central Park. It's just...
And of course, the girl that he's with looks up at heaven, and he's just standing there looking down.
And then Vin Diesel and The Rock, they descend down. God's dead body is there, and they start beating the shit out of his dead body. I don't think we're going to have the Christian Gamer website contact us. I don't think that one's in the cards for us. I'll be honest.
Think that ship has sailed.
That ship has sailed when we talked about Vin Diesel and The Rock beating the dog shit out of God.
We had them. We talked about beating Satan. They're like, yeah!
Yeah! Fuck that guy!
And it pivoted like, wait.
Wait. No. Wait.
Why do you do that so well? You're like right from the movie.
It's probably
That's the Punisher, isn't it?
Yeah.
John Bernthal, is that his name?
I don't
that's
know.
His name.
Wasn't he, isn't that fucking Shane from The Walking Dead?
Yes. Yeah, it's John Bernthal, I believe. Is his name? Oh, that's funny. My face fucking hurts, dude. Can we not be so funny for the next 30 minutes?
We gotta stop being funny.
Kind of make this show like normal. This shit's
I personally dropped a fucking bag.
Yeah, I heard.
On Black Friday. So, first with the boring purchases, because I knew I was going to spend a lot of money, because I was kind of hunting for deals, because I'm trying to build a new PC next year. And I knew a lot of my money was going to go towards storage. So I have a lot of storage. And I'm fucking sick of hard drives.
Fair.
I'm getting SSDs only. But I have... In my system now, I used to have 15. Now I have 11 terabytes.
What, the other 4 blow up?
The other 4 I took out because, the drive died. But to get that in SSD storage, pretty penny.
Yeah.
So on Newegg, they had a deal where Western Digital, they WD Black 4 terabyte NVMe drives were like $250.
Wow.
Bought 2 of them.
Not bad, though.
Back ordered. So they'll be here sometime in a couple of weeks.
I mean, 8 terabytes SSD for $500. It's not bad, honestly.
Not terrible. And also, Amazon.com, I
Small
bought
site.
a... which I wasn't planning on buying. I saw the price and I was like, "Wowza!" And I had to buy it. I bought a new monitor. I bought a Samsung Odyssey G6 or 5, or whatever it is. 32-inch, 1000R curved monitor, 1440p, 240 hertz.
Damn.
I didn't know if I was going to like it because it's so aggressively curved, but I really do like it. However, it has some features that fucking infuriate me.
Okay.
So, you know me, Jordan. I can be a bit of a Luddite. I hate smart shit so much. I complain about this TV all the time. I'm gesturing behind you guys. I hate this TV because you press the on button, it launches you to the dumbass Roku menu. Not just hate to be that guy. Back in my day, when you had a TV or a monitor, you plugged the cable into it and that was it. You plugged the cable into it and it displayed what was coming out of that cable.
Yeah.
Why does my monitor have smart features? Why was the first thing it asked me to do was connect to fucking Wi-Fi? Wi-Fi?
For a monitor?
It's a monitor. I plug a DisplayPort cable into it. It displays things for me. That's all I needed to do. I do not need Wi-Fi connectivity on my monitor. I do not need this.
What does it do with that?
It does like smart features. But tell me why as well when I set up the monitor and then I pull up my phone and the Samsung like smart things pops up and says like, do you want to add Samsung Odyssey G6 to your phone? No, I don't. No one does.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's just I hate it. I hate smart shit. It's fucking pissing me off. Not everything has to be smart. I have the exact amount of smart things I need in my life. It's one. I only need a smartphone, fine. I don't need a smart light bulb, a smart toilet, a smart fleshlight. I don't need a smart butt plug. I don't need smart toilet paper, smart shoes, smart sweatshirt, smart eyeballs, smart hairbrush. I don't need all that. It's gonna be the regular one.
I want to hear more about the smart fleshlight.
Man, that shit pissed me off.
I can tell.
And it doesn't say inputs either. It doesn't say switch inputs. It says switch app. It's not an app! It's an input! I'm not launching a PS5 app.
No, you're
PS5 app.
You're skimming PS5
I'm switching over to the PS5 input on HDMI.
2.
Fucking infuriating. Almost lost my cool there.
Could have been dangerous.
That could have been a little tragic.
Yeah, risk for being loud and peaking the audio.
That could have been tragic. But it's just really annoying, and I hope that people understand my frustration here, and share my frustration more importantly, and that I'm not just tweaking for no reason. But I am, like I said, I'm not a technophobe, obviously. But I am a bit resistant to adding shit to products that doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like this camera has the exact amount of features I want it to have.
Mm-hmm.
I put a lens on it, I hit a button, and it records.
Yeah.
There is some smartphone connectivity, but it sucks ass.
Yeah, and it's got like the smart stabilization and shit.
And it doesn't when you turn on the camera, it doesn't go, hey, you should connect your smartphone and connect to Wi-Fi and let us run all these apps on your camera for no reason.
Let us take the video for you.
Which I will say though, compared to this TV, the software, whatever firmware is on there, actually runs on that Samsung monitor.
You remember when we tried to watch a movie for the podcast and the TV updated for over an hour? Yeah. A movie, mind you, that we already had on the app.
We had the movie. I own the movie on Amazon. And I was like, let's play it. And it says, sorry, we can't play this movie for you. We got to update your TV. And then it updates like 10 minutes later and goes, sorry, we got to update again.
And then it had to update the remote.
And then the remote had to update. Why does the remote need an update?
None of the buttons have changed.
My PS5 controller needed an update the other day. That shit pissed me off.
Yeah, they do need updates. But at least that has like haptics and all these different features and sensors.
This is buttons.
There's buttons with an infrared sensor. Like, come on, bro.
Did infrared change? Did physics change? And I didn't know. I didn't get the memo.
It's now ultraviolet, actually.
It's actually we made it UV, so it doesn't. I don't know. It's just I'm irritated. It's too much voodoo for what you needed to do, and because of this, when it times out, and auto shuts down, when I jiggle my mouse to bring it back, the second monitor comes up quick, and then the Samsung monitor has to be and do a little animation to turn on.
Can you turn that off or no?
I've looked. I don't think so. And it's only frustrating because the shit that was on my second monitor, I have to move back to my second monitor.
Oh, because it's that much quicker that it thinks you're using one monitor?
Yes.
That is so annoying.
Very frustrating. Overall though, I like the monitor. But I have to give it a 7 out of 10 for the experience. If it was just a thing I could plug a cable into, it would be like a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
Because nothing's perfect, I don't think.
No.
It would be like a 9 out of 10. Because and I don't think this smart technology is really on the advertising at all. I watched a review for the monitor too, and I was like, that's not mentioned at all.
Interesting. Wonder if it was newer.
And maybe. Because I was like, oh, cool, the monitor comes with a remote. Because, navigating monitor menus sucks.
Well, especially if it's anything like my curve one where the buttons are on the fucking back on the side.
The buttons are on the back.
Yeah, that's
it's
terrible.
a little
a nobule.
little dingus stick on the back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't read too much into this motion. But it's I was like, oh shit, a remote. And I look at the remote and it says Netflix, YouTube, Disney Plus. I'm like, what is this bullshit?
I mean, I get it. That is kind of cool to have
I'm plugging it into a computer. I can do Disney Plus on my computer.
I know, but to have it a press away, less power draw, I get it, but it's still, it should be, are you going to do this? No? Okay, we're done. I'm gone.
Yes, I agree.
That's how it should be. I think that's a cool feature for a specific use case.
Give me the option, but especially when you're making a gaming monitor and you know that the people who are using it are either going to plug a console or a PC into it, where they could do all that shit anyway.
Dude, even Windows as an OS is smart enough to ask you when you first install Windows 11, are you gaming or are you doing schoolwork? And then you say gaming, and it gets rid of 70% of the schoolwork stuff.
Okay. Do you want to do the bullshit, or are you actually using your computer as a computer?
Yeah.
I still think on that topic of Windows, I still think there needs to be an option to do an advanced install. Mm-hmm. There has to be an I know what I'm doing button. Just I think Google Maps needs an I know where I am button. You know, where you have to, when you're on Maps and you're punched into a destination and you know the back 80% of where you're going, but you just need to know how to get to the highway or whatever.
Yeah, what exit or something, yeah.
I'm I just need an I know where I am button. Yeah. It's I don't know how to get to the highway per se, but that's all I need.
Yeah. You know what frustrates me? You know what frustrates me about maps? A similar sort of thing. It's if I'm here, right? And say I'm oh, I'm gonna meet you at your work, right? And I'm okay, Chris's work, boom. Here's how I get there. And then I'm we're gonna grab lunch near his work. Let me see what's near his work. You type in lunch spots, and it just gives you it on your entire path. And there's no option to be what's around my destination.
Yeah.
That shit's frustrating. That's what we ran into in Philly. Was every time we were walking around, I'm lunch spots. It's bringing us to fucking East Philly, 40 miles away. I'm where are you? I'm on foot, lady. Come on, Google Assistant, help me out here. Throw me a bone.
Or when you, if you take an exit to get gas, it's no, what are you doing? You're going the wrong way. What are you doing? We gotta go to recalculate 87 times.
There needs to be a pause button too for that, where it's I'm getting off for just a minute. Just hang on.
I'm getting off the highway for 30 seconds. I need you to chill out for a minute.
You'll be driving, you hit
I need you
a side
to calm
street.
down.
Yeah, you pass a side street, and it's dude, you were supposed to take a left.
Or when you, I know, especially if I'm at work, I take, obviously, a pretty unconventional path out of the area. and it doesn't recognize the places I'm at as a road.
You're on the sidewalk.
It recognizes it as like, just land around a building. So I'm driving, and it's like, we don't know where you are. We don't know if the map's gonna work anymore. We don't know. We don't know. We don't know what's gonna happen.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right. Google Maps, it's a blessing and a curse, man.
Yeah.
We're so privileged that we can even complain about this.
Oh, absolutely.
Versus 25 years ago, it's like, all right, Chris, I'm holding the map. You got to take exit 17 in 432 miles. Let me get the highlighter real quick.
So I will say I generally think boomers are dumb and stupid for complaining about like kids these days don't know things and stuff. I think the map one is valid.
Yeah.
The map one's valid.
So many people
Drop
can't
me in
use
the woods with a map, I'm fucked. I'm fucked.
I think I got that. I'm good with maps, though.
I could probably figure it out eventually, but there's like people out there that like they just know offhandedly what cardinal direction they're facing. Fuck if I know.
I know that from where I am now.
If I don't know where the sun is, it's over. If I was just in this room with zero context, I was like, I don't fucking know.
You don't know which way is north from here?
No.
It's behind us.
Is it?
Yeah, I'll show you. I can't believe you know. I feel like I'm the only person. Hang on. Hey, north. South is where we're facing.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I know that offhandedly. Anywhere around here, if you fucking tie me up and drop me in.
I'm saying devoid of context. Like if I'm outside, I know where the sun goes, so I can figure it out from there.
Yeah.
But like devoid of context, you're in a dark room. You're in a dark room. Which way are you facing?
That I don't know unless I know the room. Like if you drop me in here or drop me upstairs or brought me to like our Alex's house, like I would know which way.
We go to the middle of the woods. We go to the middle of the woods. It's nighttime. Which way you going? Which way's north?
Yeah, that I wouldn't know.
I would have to bust out the sextant and start doing calculations.
Well, I was gonna say like I would have to look. I'd have to know a little more about like astronomy and constellations.
I have
See if
a
I can find
compass
the Big
though,
Dipper.
so I can figure that out.
I mean, yeah, that's the beauty of modern technology, right? If you like threw me in the woods right now, I got a literal compass strapped to my wrist. So
I have a compass on here, but I also have a physical, real compass.
I'm gonna start carrying one just for the hell of it. Keep
Just
that
carry
thing
a
on me,
compass.
dude. You never know.
I remember learning how to read a compass at some point, because there's like it's more than just it points in a direction. There's like, well, we take X amount of degrees or minutes this way or whatever. It was, well, I had a teacher and I had a class with a teacher who was like a military guy, and one day for class, completely unrelated to what the class was about, he took us outside and was like, here, everyone, take a compass. We're going to learn how to read a compass today.
I mean, that's the kind of shit I feel like you should be taught.
I was like, that's interesting. I was a stupid, dumb, idiot 12-year-old at the time, so I was like, this is stupid and dumb.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not doing this stupid bullshit. If you did it to me now, if you were like, all right, we're going to learn how to read a compass, I'm all about it.
Yeah, honestly, like if your dad knocked on the door and like, hey, boys,
we're going to read we're going to learn how to read a compass
right
today.
I would stop the show right now and go read the compass.
They really called that shit a compass.
I mean, they also call it a sextant. Not really.
They were just horny back then. Compass and sextant.
That's funny. But yeah, anything else? So you bought the monitor. You bought what the hell was the other thing you said? You bought
SSDs.
The SSDs.
And that was
anything
it.
Else?
Yeah, that was it.
So what was that? What did that run you? 750? 750?
Yeah, something like that. Because no, this is more like 850. Because the monitor was 339.
Yeah,
the SSDs were like 500.
Damn.
So it was a lot of money. A lot of money. I don't like spending money.
Yeah, dude, I got the itch right now because my dad, he's just friends with old people because he's old. So there's this woman he knows that's like 81. And I'm just cooking dinner the other day, like a podcast in one ear.
I'm fucking old.
And he's old, so they're on speakerphone and both very loud. I'm just sitting there like chopping up some food, I'm like vibing. And I heard her and she goes, yeah, I got this pretty good shape Corolla. It's like a 2002 or like a 98, 5-speed. I'm trying to get rid of it, but I don't want to. Everything's perfect, but I'm just too old to hit the clutch. And I'm just sitting there just like, Father, Father, can I have a phone number, please?
Me when I hear about an old vehicle that I can buy.
I was like, my dad got off the phone with her. I was like, I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. I was like,
I'll be honest.
I was like, if I didn't have such strict saving goals for the rest of this year, I would have asked you for that granny's phone number. I've been like, yo, let me look at that Corolla.
I was my car's in the shop at the moment because the accident.
Bum, bum, bum.
And I was like, man, I'm kind of like this did not occur to me for a very long time. I will say this occurred to me like as a passing thought. I was like, what if I just floated like $8,000 and bought a car and just had a car for the time that my car's in the shop? What if I floated? Because I was on Facebook Marketplace last night. Because I go on Facebook Marketplace to look at cars all the time. I was like, there's this like nice like 02 Mustang 6-speed that I can buy, and it's like $8,000. What if I just floated $8,000 and just paid $8,000 and then just sold that when I got my Accord back? But then I was like, oh, if I did that, I would not want to sell it. I'll be honest.
And then you'd have to pay to insure that thing.
That too. And I also looked it up. That Mustang, less horsepower than my Accord.
Really?
Like 11 less.
Still, like, holy shit.
It's 260 horsepower.
And is it 8-cylinder or 6?
A V8, yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
260 horsepower. My Corolla, my Accord has 271.
I mean, the good news is the Mustang's still rear-wheel drive, so you can just spin out.
The Mustang also had like 50 or 60 more pound-feet of torque, though.
Oh, okay.
So you're going to feel the horsepower more.
Yeah. More tactile.
Yeah, but yeah, I just like, again, this isn't something that occurred to me for a very long time. It's just something that just like floated through my head for a second. It's like, what if
Chris is hitting the fucking
what if
hypothetically
hypothetically, if I just spent a little bit of money, I could just buy this like really quickly. Because then I know that if I was like, hey, Dad, I'm going to go buy a car. He'd be like, why? Like, I want a car for because I don't have
2
one
weeks,
right now.
please.
He's like, what do you mean? You're fucking stupid.
Your dad's like, you're over the way, an idiot.
He's he usually doesn't kind of shit on stuff that I do, but he would be like, what are you, fucking stupid? He'd absolutely be like, you're an idiot.
Yeah, he lets this podcast fly somehow.
Those are antics fly.
That part still amazes me.
But yeah, that's what floats through my mind occasionally. But yeah, absolutely. Anytime there's any old vehicle around, I'm just like,
I just heard old Corolla. I was like, oh, cool. I like old Corollas. And then I just heard like 5 or 6 speed. I forget which one. I think it's a 5-speed that one. I was like, perhaps I could take it for a test drive.
let me take a look at that Corolla. What she want for it? $500?
Well, her thing is, it was really funny hearing her talk to my dad because she's never owned or driven an automatic somehow in her 81 years.
And my neighbor's like that.
So she was actually asking it was funny to me to hear someone ask this. I was like, are you dumb? But then it made sense once I stopped being ignorant and actually understood the context. But I was like, she was asking my dad, she's like, so like, what is an automatic? Like, what exactly does it do? And he was like, well, you put it in one specific gear, essentially, and then you just use the gas. You don't have a clutch. You just have a gas and a brake, and it won't stall ever on its own unless there's a problem. And she's like, okay, all right, yeah, so you just use the gas. Are they reliable? And he's like, yeah, it just depends which ones you buy. Stick with Corollas and shit, and you'll be fine.
Put it in D, and it goes.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, it was so weird to hear this old woman ask that, and I'm like, you know what, that actually made sense. Like, yeah.
See, this is the thing is like she's old, so she's never driven an automatic. So what I know is going to happen is she's going to be merging onto the highway. She's going to be searching for a clutch and slam on the brakes. Because I have done that before, not on the highway, but I have done that before in like, I'll drive my car, and then if I get in the Hummer or something, I'll like, left foot goes on the brake. I'm like, hang on, wait a second.
Yeah.
Hang on a second. Because my foot's scanning for a pedal. It's got to be a pedal here somewhere.
It's funny because with the Yaris, I always rested my hand on the shifter, but I always made it a point not to put any weight into it because that's how I was taught not to do, like hold it in gear. It's bad for your actual bearing. But I had a habit of keeping my hand there just so I could go through gears easy whenever I had to go. And then one day I was driving the Cobalt with Letzi, and we were going slow, luckily, so it wasn't like a huge deal. but I had it in drive, and I just had my hand casually on the shifter, and below drive of mine is 2, and then below that is L. So we start going into like a Walmart parking lot, and I start approaching the turn, and I just went into 2. And all of a sudden the car's like, and it's like at 4,000 RPMs. I'm like, oh shit, sorry. I was like, oh, my bad.
See, I get lucky. If I'm in the van, I can tuck my left leg back.
Keep that shit occupied.
I tuck it back because I tuck it back into the seat. Because, I
might get dangerous and
might do something crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's funny. I just heard it. I was like, Corolla 5-speed, old lady drove it. Like, she's only driven manuals, which means most likely that clutch probably looks like it's still new.
Oh, yeah, no, but I'm going to get a hold of it and absolutely molest that car. The car's going to get touched.
Touches you as he's riding with the clutch half in the entire time.
Like, I know how to do it, but I'm not going to do it properly.
On purpose. Yeah.
Oh, man. So I dug my DSs out of storage recently.
No way. I didn't even know you had DSs. That's fucking awesome.
I had a DS Lite and a DSi XL.
I wanted a DS Lite.
And I was like, I have the DSi, and I'm like, this can't be that hard to like just load games onto, right? Just like ROMs.
It's a bit of a hassle.
It's not that hard though.
No?
You can
on the DSi?
On the DSi, you have an SD card slot, and there's an exploit you can do where you replace some file in the camera folder that launches you into like the homebrew firmware.
Okay.
And I did that. I homebrewed it, and I just started like loading ROMs onto the SD card. That shit is awesome.
That's how I didn't realize the DSi was that easy. I think it's the 3DS I looked into that you need like an actual, not an SD card, but an actual like custom game cartridge.
Yeah, you need the flash cart.
Yeah, and you have to flash it, and you can like totally brick the thing permanently if you fuck it up.
Oh, you can absolutely brick your DSi doing it, but
okay,
yeah, they actually tell you to. There's a tool you have to install that they tell you to dump your firmware
in case you got to restore.
In case you have to restore it. Whereas, like, because you can, with installing the homebrew firmware, is you can brick your system and then have to grab your backup and reflash firmware onto it.
Damn.
And but I did that, and I started installing ROMs onto it. I'm like, man, this shit is so awesome. But then I start playing, and I'm like, this is cool. And then 20 minutes later, I'm like, all right, it's not that cool anymore. And I just put it away.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it's not that cool anymore. All right.
Yeah.
I can only play Pokemon
for
so long before I'm like, all right, this is stupid.
Yeah. I went through my emulation rabbit hole. I started emulating the Gears of War series, the original trilogy, and I ended up making it through all of them. But unfortunately, during Gears of War 3, I had to go the nuclear route. Because Gears of War 1, dude, I booted it up. It had one graphical glitch. I went on old Reddit.com.
I had one graphical glitch. I had to delete System 32 really quick.
I went on Reddit.com. Oh, here's a patch. You literally drop this in a folder and turn this from false to true. I think I talked about it last time because I said it was going to be like a major coding thing I was going to ask you for help with. Ended up just changed false to true. And game ran great. I think it crashed a single time. And other than that, perfect. Gears of War 2, a little bit more finicky. I think it crashed maybe 2 or 3 times throughout the whole game. But again, for the most part, I could just boot up and play. Gears of War 3, dude, was a fucking stutterfest for the first, 2 hours of the game. Crashed a bunch of times. Totally borked. I fought for, hours, and I got this thing to work to the point where I made it to the end of, I think it's the end of Act 5. I think they call it Chapter 5. I don't know. It's the end of the game. There was, a chapter left. And it just kept crashing at this one part. And Lexi just saw me getting mad. And then I just went, I put the thing down. I go, I'm going nuclear. She's like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm like, just watch. I took my entire emulation setup, put it on an SSD, plugged it into my PC, transferred everything, and just emulated the rest of the game on my PC. And just brute forced it with the power of my PC.
I plugged it into I grabbed all the emulation stuff, put it on an SSD, and then I shot it to death with a gun.
Yeah, I ended up just raw power, raw dogging this fucking emulator, and I played through it on PC. Dude, the first 3 Gears of War games are so beyond exceptional that I'm kind of upset. Because I was team Gears of War 4 and 5 are alright. People really didn't like certain things, especially 5. And I was always like, these games they're good. I don't know why people are mad.
Right.
I played 1 and 2 a million times as a kid, but I never had played 3. And then I went back, dude. I played 1, 2, and 3. I saw how they ended the original storyline, and I'm like, why did they make more? Fuck.
This is a problem. This is another old man rant. This is a problem that I find in the games industry and the movie industry especially at the moment is nothing's original anymore. Mm-hmm. It sucks. It really sucks. And I think 2023 was a fantastic year for video games.
Yeah, it was really
22 was really good as well. I think like 2020 got stunted, obviously. I think 21 kind of got stunted a little bit. 22 and 23 were really good games, really good years for games. 24 was not.
Yeah.
But I'm speaking more about the film industry. It was like there's no original stuff being made anymore, and everything is made to appeal. I said this last time. Everything's being made to appeal to everyone, and casting a wide net means it kind of it's kind of mid to everyone. And I think there's a lot of stories that wrap up nicely, and they're like, all right, let's continue this, and it's done terribly.
I would honestly say that's how Fast and Furious is. The first 5 are actually really good.
I think like God of War is the only one that's done it like well. Like God of War is like they wrap up the game, you kill Zeus, whatever, and then they brought it back and then released 2 fucking banger video games.
Yeah.
But I think I'm trying to think of games where they do that and it hasn't ended, and it hasn't ended poorly. Like they just haven't made like.
I would say the original Infamous games. That's another game I've been playing recently. I mean, they kind of wrapped.
Oh, was
that
like
good.
Was like what Second Son or the newer one? Was that like a reboot or something? Like
it was a reboot. It was a whole new character, new city. Like,
oh, okay.
The events had happened, but it wasn't anything like that. And that game wasn't bad by any means. It was fun.
Yeah, I think I kind of like that about like God of War, where they're like, this other shit that happened.
Yeah.
And that's canon still. But this is new stuff.
Yeah. And like that stuff only really gets mentioned and like
sort
of influences the decisions the character makes in the beginning, but doesn't actually like all that much matter in the grand scheme of things.
Right.
But you only get like name drops of like Ghost of Sparta and Killer of Gods and shit like that.
You kind of, I think, I don't know. It's just something I've noticed more and more is like game studios, movie studios, TV studios are just, they refuse to let shit die.
Yeah.
And it's remaster, remake, sequel.
Yeah, I've been waiting, honestly. I don't know how this hasn't happened yet. I've been waiting for Ubisoft to be like, we got Assassin's Creed and Ezio's back, even though his entire arc was wrapped in Revelations. I'm really waiting for the game that they're just like, hey, the main character's Ezio again.
Ezio's back, and he's in the future.
Supposedly.
Ezio's back, and he's on a motherfucking space station. How about that?
Supposedly, that's what Assassin's Creed Infinity was supposed to be. Was not so much the spaceship part, but all the old characters come back, and it's like a online thing. I don't know. It was weird, but
I think I'm sick of multiverse shit too.
Yeah, no, that's such an easy out. Like God of War could have done that, and it would have been terrible. They could have been like, this is Kratos, but like a different timeline where he's in Norse, and that would have pissed me off.
I think Disney introduced the multiverse concept to like the mainstream, and then they were like, that's when everything got really bad.
But yeah, at least it was done well then too, though.
They were like, yeah, this is an easy out for us to make characters different, basically. Like, oh, we can just introduce a bunch of different universes and we can do a bunch of like non-canon stories or whatever.
Yeah, and just fits bad writing too.
And then they just made everything like some contiguous thing, so you have to watch every single show to get some kind of reference that happens in a movie.
Inevitably.
Which is frustrating when you're making things that should appeal to adults with jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, that's kind of how I feel about, like, some of the Spider-Man movies. Like, they did a good job where, I guess because technically that started the multiverse thing, or, like, popularized it, was the Spider-Man movie, but, like, I'm afraid for 4, the new Tom Holland one, that it's going to be, like, referencing the new Doctor Strange movie and the new Captain America movie with Anthony Mackie. Like, I'm not watching those, and I'm not going to go out of my way to watch those. So if all of a sudden, Spidey's talking about them, I'm going to be pissed,
That's why I like the Spider-Man PlayStation games, because they're so, like, they're just a self-contained story.
Yeah.
That you don't need any context for other than the previous games.
Yeah.
Like, if you're playing Spider-Man 2, the context you need is, like, Spider-Man 1 and arguably Miles Morales.
Yeah.
And that's it. I like a self-contained story. I don't want to have to play a bunch of shit or watch a bunch of shit before I watch the thing I actually want to watch.
Funny enough, that's actually, like, I kind of got a little annoyed with Gears of War because I was doing some research on the books, and, like, there's a lot of books. There's 8 of them, I think, 8 books. And, like, a lot of them are just kind of flashback stuff, so it's not super important. But there's an entire book that takes place between 3 and 4, like, where they bridge that gap from the original trilogy to making the new games. And I'm like,
right.
I'm a big proponent of reading books about games, but, like, I like books that are either tie-ins, like the Spider-Man novel that takes place before Spider-Man 2018, which is literally, the entire novel is just, like, Spider-Man fighting this person, and then the end of the Spider-Man book is the intro of Spider-Man 2018 where he's going after Fisk. That's how the book ends. It's everything up to that point for, like, a year.
It ends the last page is like, so I want to kill this fat guy.
That's exactly what he says, actually. No, but it's actually neat how it does that. It's the actual cutscene playing out. Like, it's
That's
like
pretty
the
interesting.
phone says, Fish Tower, code whatever the fuck, and, like, it reenacts it, and it's really cool. That stuff's cool. But, like, if all of a sudden Spider-Man Miles Morales ended and there was a book that absolutely had critical information in it that you need to play Spider-Man 2, I'd be pissed. There is a book, mind you. It's called Winds of Fury. I read that one as well. That is about that bridge between Miles Morales and 2, but nothing is really substantial to be like, oh, you needed to know this.
Yeah.
So,
I like a self-contained story.
Yeah, I wanna buy a piece of media and just consume that media, and that's it.
But nope, can't do it. I think we're reaching the end here. I think where we're gonna see the bottom fall out of this, and then we're gonna get a lot of original stuff. These games, it's not as much of a problem because it's so much easier to break into the games industry than it is the film industry.
Yeah.
Like, when's the last time you saw an indie movie go to the movie theater, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time you saw an indie game blow the fuck up? That happens all the time.
I mean, even Little Kitty Bit City that we played is pretty successful for an indie game.
You can make a game on your own, relatively, right? Like, I could, if I put my feet down, nose to the grindstone, within a year I could have, like, a decent video game.
Yeah, there's a difference between saying you can do it and it's easy. I'm not saying it's easy.
I'm not saying it's easy.
Can
it takes
be done.
a fuck ton of work.
But it can be done.
But it can be done alone.
Yeah.
You know. A movie you cannot do.
Yeah.
unless you're like an extreme, like, you're a master animator,
sound designer,
voice actor, and writer.
Yeah.
There's no way you're good at all those
That
things.
reminds me of this movie that just came out called Flow that I want to see. It wasn't made by one person.
It's about the progressive woman. Progressive mascot. It's called Flo, and she's like, I'm going to get you better deals on your car insurance.
And then she gets shot.
And then the Geico gecko shoots her.
But, yeah, it's called Flow, and it's an animated movie. I don't think there's any dialogue. It's about a cat, a capybara, and a fucking lemur.
It's like they made that movie specifically for you. That's crazy.
I know. I want to see it, but it's not showing around us. It's like 50 miles away. But I do want to see it. Hopefully it'll come to some streaming site. But and they just go on like a rambunctious adventure, and it's got really good sound design. That's the big thing. It's like they're on a boat in the ocean and the waves, but I don't think there's any talking from what I've seen in the trailers because they're animals. So, but it seems cool. So, like, that's something where, like, conceptually, if you were really good at animating, really good at sound design, you could, like, maybe throw something together. But even this was still a team of, like, I think 10 or 15 people.
Interesting.
So
interesting. Yeah, that is crazy that that movie exists. Like if they went, Jordan, we made a movie specifically with you in mind. It's got a cat in it. There's a capybara in it, and a little monkey feller.
Yeah.
It's like if they made a movie that was just about really good cheeseburgers.
Yeah, that would be Chris's movie.
It was called like, "Hey Fat Boy, come watch this."
Hey, fat boy, come here, fat.
Come here, fat. I was at Cheesecake Factory recently. Speaking of cheeseburgers,
Shit's yummy.
and I had not. So we went out on Black Friday, and we did something, and then we got Cheesecake Factory. Okay, and I'm not kidding. That burger that I had hit me like a truck, man, because I had not eaten for most of the day. Like, I think I had breakfast and that was it. And it was like 10 o'clock by then. I was like, shit, I gotta eat something. And I eat this cheeseburger. It's like a barbecue, like onion type burger with onions on it and whatever. And I eat this fucking thing. And I was like, I was getting like food aggression. I was getting like food aggression. Someone got near my plate and I growled at them.
It made sense.
And the drinks though sucked ass.
Liquor drinks, you're saying?
Yeah, the drinks were terrible. I had a whiskey ginger. I tasted the whiskey. No hint of ginger. There was some other liquid in it, and it just kind of tasted like vomit.
Ugh, piss.
Yeah, it's a fucking whiskey piss.
Yeah.
And I had an old fashioned, which wasn't that bad.
Hard to fuck that. If they fuck that up, that's...
It's whiskey, sugar, and bitters. It's like really, not easy to mess that up.
Yeah.
But total sidebar on that. I just remembered that cheeseburger I had.
That shit set you right.
Yeah, and then I got a slice of cheesecake to go, because I was like, I'm not gonna house another 1,600 calories here. And then that was my meal for like the next day. And I ate that and I was like, this is fine. This is good. But like, man, does my tummy feel crazy after that.
Yeah. Set you up for failure right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, that's all I got.
Yeah. Christian Game Reviews, hit us up. ChristianGameReviews.com. Hit us up.
Could you imagine if they actually did?
Only a little blasphemy. Trust. Only a little bit of blasphemy.
Not a lot.
What would you give this podcast morality score? What do you think we would get for a morality score?
I want to say higher than like a GTA, but then I think about it, and we did have a really descriptive act of pegging that we talked about in the very beginning.
At the very beginning, we talked a lot about sex acts.
Yeah, especially like male on male sex acts was a big part of it. So I think they would give us like a 6. I think we might be worse than Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, I think so. And we also did go on a tangent about Vin Diesel and The Rock beating the shit out of God himself.
Yeah, that one's not good. Yeah.
Again, only a little blasphemy.
We didn't say we were going to do it.
We said it would just be funny if it happened. We just saying like it would be really funny.
Yeah. Yeah, we got like a 6.
I think maybe a 4 even.
Maybe.
Out of, what is the top score? Like a 20 or something like that?
I think it's 100%.
Oh.
It's definitely out of 100%.
Oh, yeah, we got like a 2 out of 100 maybe.
Yeah. For blasphemy, we got a 0.
0,
10,
absolutely not. Yeah. I think this show's mostly blasphemy.
I think so.
Mostly
and
blasphemy.
The occult, definitely a 0 as well.
The occult, we did an episode, we're actually doing an episode next week where I summon the devil.
Our fucking Halloween episode where we're burning the pumpkin.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was a precursor. That was a precursor to set up and so I could summon the devil.
Yeah, that's not helping our cause, actually.
Next time, it's going to be dark and there's going to be a candlelit pentagram in the center of the floor. And I'm going to blood eagle Jordan over the...
We did talk about that, too.
Over the pentagram. And I'm going to summon Satan with Jordan's deflated organs on the floor.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's what we'll do.
So anyway, just email us.
So yeah, hit us up, synapsemisfire@pm.me. Send us your comments, questions, concerns, death threats, little kitty, big city stuff, and Christian game reviews.
Yeah. So.
Do you want to remind the people about the rest of the stuff, man?
So you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Breaker, Radio Public, Spotify, Pocket Cast, and the RSS feed, all linked below. We also have YouTube and Spotify, which have the video platform where you can see us. And Instagram, TikTok, you can contact us there. And as Chris said, the email, synapsemisfire@pm.me.
Yes, sir.